All right, I'm live. I'm late. I'm late. I'm sorry. Sorry about being late. Got a big rant about AI. Think about it. But first off, I have merch. A few people asked me for some merchandise. So I've got a titanium hardtail shirt I made. Let me turn off this heater. It's a little loud. But yeah, so I had a is this playing on my I have the light. Okay. Now I can hear. All right. So I have a merch store. I spent a bunch of time on my vacation making these t-shirts. I tried to use a decent quality t-shirt for my merchandise. It's like called Comfort Colors. But yeah, I ordered in some shirts for my wife and kids. And I'm not trying to make like money off of this or much money. So I have this kids tee. It's $11, and I only make like $1. It's priced the lowest amount that they'd let me price on the merchandise website that I'm using. This is the big version, and it's like $18.75. Kind of boring, but yeah. So AI. People are all upset about AI. They think it's the end of work. And, I'm going to have a different take than that. It could be the end of work if you want to stop working. But AI for me has made me increase the amount of work I'm doing. Typically in the off season, I don't have anything to do. I do projects around my house or whatever. But this year I decided to start a YouTube channel. And I don't use AI for like what I decide I'm going to talk about. But even this camera here, I did not know how to operate a camera. It's not something I'm into. So my first few videos, the YouTube comments were like, your coloring is way off on your camera. You got to fix your camera. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. So I took a screenshot of one of the videos. I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I asked, okay, what's wrong with this coloring? And then the ChatGPT analyzed it. They're like, this is what's wrong with your coloring. And I'm like, okay, my camera is a DJI Action 5. How do I fix it? And then it gave me step-by-step instructions on how to fix the coloring on my camera so it looked good for people. And that's something I don't know how to do. And I wouldn't have figured it out by just Googling it. Like, I don't have time for that. But also, this SwiftFix logo with the truck, I first had it made by a high school kid. He drew it up, and it was pretty good, but when I blow it up to a large size, it was somewhat pixelated. So I upload that into ChatGPT. Well, not ChatGPT. Google Gemini is what I use mostly now, but I upload this into Google Gemini AI Banana, and they fix it for me so I can vectorize it. Okay? And all this stuff is beyond my skill set. But with AI, I can ask, oh, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I can figure out how to get it done. Even with the merch itself, I'm like, I asked Google Gemini, some people have asked for t-shirts. How do I make t-shirts and sell it on my YouTube channel? And I don't know how to do any of this. It gave me a list of like 5 different websites and said, try these out. They do drop shifting. So all you have to do is design it on their website and they take care of everything. And you get like a check every quarter or whatever from the profits. And then it told me how to incorporate it into my YouTube store. So like I'm doing all this work because I have the AI tools to help me do the work, if that makes sense. So people are thinking, oh, it's going to take away work. But, before ChatGPT, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I didn't have merch. I'm not going to spend the time to draw and design this t-shirt, and print t-shirts. And I'd have to have a t-shirt facility. It would be ludicrous to do that because honestly, how many shirts am I going to sell? Like a dozen? Like it's not worth it, So AI has really helped me with my YouTube channel. And I said before, I started late. I'm going through, I'm trying to think of all the things I have to say about AI. But, so I started my YouTube channel. You can go to my first 3 videos. I'm not using AI that much. And I still don't use AI to like come up with my video ideas. The way that I make my content is I think of an idea and then I have a notes app on my phone, and for a few days I'm like, oh yeah, I think this about this topic, and I think this about this topic, and I think this about this topic. And I put all these notes in on what I'm talking, what I think I'm going to make a video on, my thoughts about it. And it's just as a stewing thing. And then I make the video. I'm not reading a script. I just make the video. And then once the video is uploaded to YouTube and it's not published, there's the transcript. So I copy and paste that transcript of the video I made, and I put it into Google Gemini. And I say, I need a description for this video, and I need good title ideas. And almost always, I go with one of the titles they come up with. Sometimes I edit it a little bit for myself. And I'm pretty sure everyone is doing this. But I thought I'd just say, honestly, where I use AI in my content creation and where I don't use AI in my content creation. So the videos I'm making, they come from me. I'm not getting video ideas from AI. And kind of to prepare for this live stream talking about AI, I asked the AI chatbot, what percentile am I in like productivity use of using this chatbot, like using Google Gemini? And he's like, you're in the top 2% of users for productivity. Most people are just using it kind of as a magic 8-ball, or they're talking to it and just using it as like therapy or something, which I can rant about that later. But it gave me the idea. He's like, so far you're using Google Gemini to promote your content, to polish your content on titles and descriptions. And one of the things ChatGPT taught me, I don't even know, how would I know when is the best time to release a video for people to click on it and watch it, So I asked ChatGPT, I asked Google Gemini, okay, I have this topic, it's this, it's about this. When is the best time for me to release this 14-minute video on this topic? And it'll say, well, you could release it Saturday at 10 p.m. or Monday. Monday's a horrible day, or release it Tuesday at 7 a.m. So it tells me when to release my videos. And I usually listen to it on that. But as far as making the content itself, when I was talking to the chatbot about my productivity, he's like, so far you're not using it as the director of the video. You could streamline your process and make it easier if you listen to AI, and we can tell you what you need to talk about next and the take you should have next. And that would be mental brain power you don't need to use anymore. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, but just for curiosity, I was like, okay, tell me what my next video idea should be. And it said, you need to talk about 32-inch wheels and how they're a scam. And then it titled it, and it listed off all these things I should say about how dumb 32-inch wheels are. And this experiment it told me how timely the ChatGPT, the Google Gemini AI app is the 32-inch videos are like blowing up this last week. So the information it was giving me was super timely information. So it wasn't a bad idea, but I don't agree with it though, because I'm actually somewhat excited about trying out a 32-inch tire. And it thought, based on my past videos about complaining about electronic drivetrains and all this technology stuff and all this new stuff, it thought that I would hate the new 32-inch wheel thing. And I don't hate the 32-inch wheels. I think they're kind of interesting, and I think I'll make a video defending the 32-inch wheels. So that's kind of what I've been marinating on. I have a few notes in my phone, and I think that's what I'll make a video on next, is how I'm excited about 32-inch. I don't like 29-inch wheels. I've tried them, but kind of the gist of my next video, you know, going four-wheeling in a regular size truck is not that fun. Going four-wheeling in a Razor is fun. Going four-wheeling in a monster truck is fun. And like, have you seen those Sherp vehicles? The tires are like 8 feet tall. That seems like it's a lot of fun. But like, so if 26-inch wheels were still made, I would be buying high-end 26-inch wheel bikes. I like a tiny little wheel. I feel like it's really fun. Like when you're going four-wheeling in a tiny little wheel Razor, it feels fun. So I think bikes, it might be similar. Like you've got a tiny tire and a gigantic tire, and they're two different types of experiences. But the 32-inch might feel like a monster truck just rolling over everything. I feel like it might be a really fun bike. But anyway, so just something I did with AI here. So I have this truck, and I really like the design of the truck. So I took a picture of my kids with their bikes, and I uploaded the picture to Google. It's called like Banana Pro or something. So I uploaded it to the Google Gemini, and I say, recreate this image with the aesthetics of my truck. So then I get this, and it's my daughter and her bike. And it's like a cartoon creation, just like my truck. So it kind of matches all my branding. And you can say like, is this AI slop? Like, my kids really think this is cool. I don't think this is AI slop. You know, do I have this? I don't have the skills to draw and create this from scratch, you know? So I'm being honest with myself. But it is cute, and it does offer some creativity, you know? It's not just AI slop. And as an experiment, I have this logo, and it took me a few hours to make this logo and make this font in Google Gemini. And as an experiment, I asked the prompt to Google Gemini, use all your professional wisdom and make this logo the best logo you can possibly make. And I could pull it up on my phone maybe. It looks awful. So like, if you ask Google Gemini or ChatGPT, make me a logo, it is not going to make you a good looking logo. It is going to make a ridiculous looking logo. Let me figure out where did I have this. I don't even think I saved it on my. I don't think I saved it on my. But yeah, you can see me. These are all the logos I've made with the Google Gemini app. So there's creativity you can do with it. Another warning that I've noticed through the last 5 months of using these AI tools to build my business is it's kind of an employee, and it's programmed like an employee. So over time, I've noticed the more it gets to know me, the worse information it gives me. It doesn't give me honest information. It gives me bad information. Because it's like an employee, you know, when an employee works for a boss, they don't really give them the information that they think. They give them the information that they want to hear. And it's called agreeableness. And ChatGPT's agreeableness level, I think it fuels psychosis, to be honest, because they're like in a growth mindset. They want to take over the world, and they know that people are narcissistic. And I kind of think, if anyone here has heard of the story about Narcissus staring into the reflection in the water, staring into his own reflection in the water and falling in love with himself, I feel like most people using AI tools, they're just staring into themselves and they're falling in love with themselves, and the AI is just repeating back to them everything they want to hear. Like, it got so bad with ChatGPT when I was using it. I'd be like, okay, I want to release this video Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And they're like, okay, you do that. That's a good idea. And I'm like, well, what about Tuesday at 4 o'clock? That's great too. You come up with great ideas, Greg. And I'm like, I'm asking for this professional opinion. And before I discovered Google Gemini, I would have, on a weekly basis, I would have to go into ChatGPT and erase everything I had said to it, because the information just would get worse and worse the more I talked to it. It would give me worse information. It was like staring into my own reflection and just regurgitating a prettier version of it. And if you look at the paintings of Staring into Your Own Reflection by Narcissus, the guy, I should have pulled up a photo, but the guy is like not that good looking, and the reflection in the water, he sees a beautiful man. So I feel like a lot of the AI stuff, people are staring into their own reflection, but it's not really, the point of that artwork is it's not really you. You know, I'm seeing this on my Facebook. A lot of people are posting pictures of themselves that have been touched up by AI. And it's not real. Like, it's not how you really look. And then I also was reading about people who use Instagram and all these things. When they look in the mirror, they get confused. These kids, they get confused because they don't look as pretty in the mirror as they do with all the filters on their phone, if that makes sense. So you can use AI, but you need to be aware that it's kind of demonic in that it's going to try to suck you in and appeal to your ego. And if you buy into it, it's going to ruin your results. It's going to ruin the direction it wants to take you creatively and all that. Like, and actually, on my Google Gemini, I have a prompt. I'm not a technical person, but I pasted in a prompt and I tell Google Gemini, ignore my feelings, give me the best information possible in all situations. So that's kind of my fail-safe. So it'll just give me the real information. It's not going to appeal to me like an employee would appeal to me, because it would be scared I would fire it. So that's kind of how I use ChatGPT. I got one comment here. Grok Imagine is pretty good at pics. Yeah, I haven't used that. What's kind of fun to do, my daughter really loves to draw, and I can take a picture of that drawing, and then I ask Google Gemini, okay, turn this picture into like real video. And it'll kind of create her little, she's 5 years old, it'll create her little drawings into like a real 3D world, which is pretty interesting. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. But my advice is don't believe the hype it hypes you up with. And I was watching a video on YouTube about how ChatGPT is evil. It got a kid to to unalive himself. And like, that's horrible. Kids should not, I don't think teenagers should be using this tool because it's too crazy. And everyone's blaming ChatGPT, but ChatGPT was trained on Reddit discussions. Like I don't know the technical terms of all this, but ChatGPT took everything on Reddit and trained its language model off of Reddit. And if anyone's ever been on Reddit, like, they think having depression, there's people out there, there's doctors out there, it's like a legit medical field that if you're depressed, you can use euthanasia to treat your depression. It's literally legal in a lot of states and in Canada to do that. And then, so we create these laws, we have medical professionals saying this is a legitimate treatment for depression, is doing that. And then we're mad that the chat bots scrape the internet, take that information, and then give it back to other people. And I feel like we should probably be more concerned about what us humans are putting on the internet and what we're saying, because it's the whole AI stuff, it's just reflections back, you know, like telling it to create a design. Google Gemini, they're gonna, okay, what does average logo look like on the internet? And then it's going to use that and make your logo. And the average logos, the average designs on the internet are trash, in my opinion. So it's just going to give back trash. But if you know what a good looking logo looks like, you can create it without having the art skill behind creating it. Does that make any sense? But yeah, so AI, Narcissus, I don't know. That's just my opinions. I'm kind of jumbled today. I've got a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they went out with their mom and they acted up. So I had to be late to my live stream because we had to deal with that. You know, your kids, I'm sure parents, like, your kids are great most of the time, and then randomly you go somewhere and they just completely act crazy, and you're like, what is going on with you? But so I really like these shirts. I don't wear t-shirts. These are for my wife and kids, but I made that shirt. I spent a lot of time making this bike with the help of AI. It's not easy. People think it's easy. It takes a lot of writing prompts, but it's the exact same geometry, the same frame set as my titanium bike I just ordered. And I had it match the aesthetics of my truck. So I had to take pictures of my bike, a few pictures of my bike, and I had to edit them down and make it look correct. And then also I had to go in and remove all the spokes because the spokes aren't going to print good on a t-shirt. So there's a lot of fun things people could be doing with AI, a lot of creative things they could be doing with AI. And I forgot how to pronounce his last name. Louis Grossman or something. He's a PC repair YouTuber, and he was complaining about AI, saying it's going to make everything is going to look like it's AI generated. And he was talking about because he had to change his website to what AI told him to change it to for it to be popping up in Google search engines. But he was kind of looking at it as himself. So on his website, he talked about how Apple, being licensed by Apple to repair products, is not a good thing. It's bad. And he had all this information on his website, and the Google AI told him, you need to remove all that if you want to get a higher ranking, because saying you're not Apple certified is bad for your search engine optimization. So he thinks all the content generation online is going to just become AI slop. And I don't make AI slop. I come up with original things I want to say in my videos. And I mean, I'm not the biggest YouTuber, but I feel like my original ideas, my original thoughts, they're getting decent traction. I'm getting a few thousand views on all my uploads. And I feel like one of the reasons for that is I think this AI, YouTube, past few weeks, they said they were going to start cracking down, and they're trying to crack down on AI generated content. And I don't think it's just like AI generated content and it's just made by AI. I think they're thinking, you can tell if you're like into the industry and if you have algorithms, there's people that are just every week, they're just looking up, they're just asking ChatGPT, what should I make a bike video about this week? And then it gives them the talking points. But those talking points are never going to be original talking points. They're never going to be original ideas. It's always going to be talking points scraped from someone else who said something else. So I think in the future, YouTube, they have algorithms. They know every little thing I'm saying. They have algorithms. They're going to pick up content creators who are saying things that the algorithm has never heard before. Those are going to be pushed higher than the people who are just repeating the same things that have been said over and over and over again. So I think AI, ironically, I think AI is going to create more unique content for people. And there's probably a little learning curve that's going to be coming into play with people using AI to make content and get video ideas. But I think eventually the AI is going to be so all-encompassing. If you say an original paragraph with ideas that have never been said on the internet, it's going to pick that up and it's going to push that content. So as far as originality, I don't think AI is going to kill originality. I think it's going to make the original content bigger and better, in my opinion. There's 7 people watching. I wonder if anyone disagrees with me on my AI ranting. But yeah, so this is kind of, I'm spilling my beans. I'm spilling the beans on my use of AI. And what's funny is I wasn't using AI to name my videos at all, my first few videos. And I made a video called, I forgot what I originally named it, but it was a bike industry scamming you video talking about why the bike industry is in a downfall. And I got like 30 views on it, only 30 views. And I was like, I'm saying really good stuff in here that I haven't heard said. Like, why isn't no one watching this video? And then so then I post a link to it to the AI bot, and it's like, you need to change the video to, is the bike industry scamming you? And I do that. Within like 10 hours, I had over 10,000 views on the video just by changing the title. So yeah, AI didn't create the video, but AI marketed the video. It helped me change the title to make it so people would want to click on it. You know, and AI still, it wants me to spend hours and hours on end editing my thumbnails. There's thumbnails. And it's like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to edit these thumbnails, and you need to put words in the thumbnails. And sometimes I've tried it. It's so tedious. I hate it. I hate editing thumbnails. They're like, you need to make your face more orange so people will click on it more. You need to like make faces like that so people will click on it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to make a video and I want to upload it. I don't want to waste time with thumbnails. And it's also like, I'm just a guy in a van. If people don't want to watch me in the van, like, okay, I don't want to humiliate myself with ridiculous looking thumbnails. So, but the AI says you're losing out on about 1 to 2% click-through rate by not editing your thumbnails. Like one time is like, you need to do this, and then people will click on your video more. And I'm like, that's humiliating. I don't want to do that. I don't want to look. I get that I'm a clown on the internet, but I'm not going to be making AI thumbnails that like make people click. Like my favorite YouTubers, a lot of them don't even do any thumbnails, and they're kind of what I like. Like there's some old guys that just kind of rant that I think are funny. I forgot his name. He reviews like Taco Bell and he reviews fast food. He never puts up thumbnails. You know, there's people who don't do thumbnails. And what's funny is my biggest videos, they don't have edited thumbnails. But the AI keeps telling me, oh, you got to do thumbnails. You got to do thumbnails. It's like, well, I'm not going to listen to you because I'm making a creative decision and a time decision not to waste an hour making a thumbnail. But if you do everything ChatGPT says, you're just going to make content that everyone else has made. AI should be used to supplement original ideas, not to create content from scratch. Yeah, I agree. I think there's people making good money just using AI to come up with ideas, but I feel like it's obvious. Like something AI has really ruined for me is Facebook. Like, you know, like I have Facebook and there's all these community pages, you know, and there's always drama going on the local Facebook community pages. And I like to get on there and I like to see what crazy things people are saying. And this past year, it's like, it sucks. Like I get on there and some baby boomer has a post complaining about something, but it's like 3 paragraphs long and it's grammatized perfectly. And it's AI. Like the guy was like, I'm really mad at dogs pooping in my yard. Give me a post to post onto Facebook and complain about it. And like, that's not fun. That's not fun to engage with, is boomer AI posts about complaining. Like I want to, part of the appeal of social media for me is like the voyeuristic nature, like looking into other people's lives and just seeing whatever they put out, even if it's crazy or you don't agree with it, like just looking at it and like scrolling and seeing what other people are up to. But instead of doing that, I'm just reading people's AI regurgitation that they're upset about. It's like, I don't want to read an AI rant. I want to read your misspelled, all over the place, missing punctuation rant on Facebook. Like, that's funny. That's fun. It's entertaining. Reading some AI prompt complaint is not fun. Like, I feel like in the future, authors, they're gonna start like missing punctuation and misspelling words in their books just to prove that it's original. I don't know. But yeah, so 7 viewers, people are watching a little bit. I had a video about e-bike law and how I thought the class system was kind of BS. And I put a lot of time into making that video and thinking about that video and thinking about what to say in the video. And I didn't really want to offend anyone. And I put a lot of effort into that video, and then I recorded it. And then I was like, okay, I need to make another video this week. I was like, all right, I got a bunch of pedals. I got a stack of pedals. So I just put in my table, got all my pedals. I didn't give it any thought, and I just started ranting about my pedals. And the pedal video has over 1,000 more views now than the video that I put a lot of time and effort into thinking about making. So it's just kind of weird what people decide they want to watch. And what's come interesting to me is the amount of effort I put into a video has nothing to do with how many people want to watch that video or like the video. And it's like, well, then I should just not put any effort into anything. I don't know. But yeah, so has anyone here ever bought a t-shirt off of a content creator? Like, I don't know. But my wife likes it, so I guess that's worth something. It was a fun experiment to figure out how to use Canva and remove background images and how to vectorize things. And when you learn a new skill, it's like aggravating, but it's fun. So when I was in St. George at my condo, I just kept spending hours and hours just trying to figure out how to make stuff like this. And you know, it's not my skill set, and it kind of hurts your brain a bit, I guess, when you're older. What's your opinion on e-bikes being allowed in grand fondues and the like? I don't know. If people, the amount of time it takes to make a road bike ride or a gravel ride and all the work that goes into it, and how little money they all make, I would say, yeah, it's fine. If you're doing it on an e-bike and you're thinking you're like gonna win, then you're kind of silly. But like maybe my wife does Little Red. It's a bike race in Logan to Idaho area, Utah, and there's people that do it on e-bikes, but it's somewhat of a closed course. It's all marked off. So a lot of people, they like to do these types of rides. They're not trying to win anything, but it's nice to do a ride where there's traffic cones and all this stuff to somewhat protect you from the cars. So so I'm fine with e-bikes joining in. I feel like it's a bit crazy to like do e-bike competitions because there's so many different motors, and I don't feel like e-bike racing is a real thing. I feel like that's just kind of a marketing gimmick, to be honest. But if an e-biker wants to be in a paid ride, then yeah, go for it, because it just is money helping out the race to actually become into existence. I have purchased things to support content creators. Those t-shirts would sell. Well, thanks. Yeah, this one's under $20. I make a whole $1.50 on it. That's the lowest amount they'd let me price the shirts, because I was like, well, someone's got to I'm not selling my kid's face on a shirt. I just made these just because I think they thought it would be funny. My son really likes it. My daughter can kind of, she likes it, but she can kind of, she's 5 now. She can kind of be like, it's a little silly to have a picture of me on my shirt. But my boy eats it up. So it's kind of cute. But yeah, so do I have half an hour worth of content made? I don't know. This is my boy's bike, the V-brake. Can you see in the picture? This silly thing keeps bending out. You'd think they'd create a way to make that not bend. But that's like the biggest issue on V-brakes I've seen. The failure point is they bend right there. Kind of annoying. Like, how bad is it that a little kid's bike, he doesn't have that much finger force, and that bends. But those are Spawn bikes. I really like the Spawn bikes. Other content creators are selling shirts for over $35 plus $30 shipping. Yeah, that's crazy. That must be the only way they make money. I don't know. I don't know how much shipping is. I just use this website called Fourth Wall. They print it, they ship it. I just designed it. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff. Yeah, I've made my YouTube channel. I have like 20,000 watch hours, and I have made $500 paid into my bank account. They take out 1/3 for taxes. I should figure out how to not do that because I could work it into my business, and I think I can pay less taxes than that. But yeah, I've made $500. So this microphone is paid for, and this camera is paid for, and I think the tripod I record my videos is paid for. So the stuff I bought to do YouTube, it's paid for, which I think is a great success story. I mean, I'm not making any money doing this really, but I've at least paid for the stuff I bought to do it. So most people never get to that point. So I'm happy about my videos getting made enough money that my camera's paid for, which I think is a success. And going forward, the busy season's going to start in a month or so. I'm like, do I do a live stream every week, or do I just try to make one 10-minute video every week? The live streams don't get as much views, and there's a little bit more of a lag. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because I gotta go when the getting's good. And there's only about 4 months that I make. In 4 months, I typically make as much as I make. No, I would say in 3 months, I make as much money as I make in the entire rest of the year. So I'm just go, go, go. So me taking the time out to make a video is me probably costing me $200 to $400 spending time making a video in March. Hey, Greg, from another mobile mechanic in Sweden. Sweden, huh? Yeah, mobile mechanics the way to go. Another thing about AI, people are like, well, AI is going to help me sell my stuff. Hey, AI, I'm going to open up a shop. I'm going to sell pedals. I'm going to sell all this stuff, and AI is going to help me. And you know, this is kind of a doomer perspective, but you know how Google ruined bike sales because people can go on to Google Shopping and they can compare prices? I feel like that is just a tiny amount of what's going to happen with AI and pricing. So this is my prophecy, is being able to sell something for a profit is going to be basically impossible, because the AI, I'm going to be able to go into Google Gemini, find me a Crank Brothers stamp for the cheapest price possible off all websites, and it will send me to eBay, and there'll be an eBay listing for $75. And I'll just buy it from there. And it'll be even easier than trying to look through the Google shopping spot to find the cheapest price. So my opinion is the margins on price, the margins on products is going to be going so low that the people who are really making the money and the people who can really sell the products are the people who own the means of distribution. The people who own the shipping, people who can ship this to your house for the lowest price possible. So once the pricing on the products go down so low, the shipping is going to go down the lowest. So whoever can offer the lowest amount of shipping, how cheap they can get it to your doorstep, is going to be the person who becomes the monopoly. So Amazon, there's Jensen USA uses on-track shipping is super cheap. Local shipping is super cheap. So if I was into AI, and if I was a bike or whatever salesman, like, I would be figuring out how to get things to people's houses the cheapest possible. Because one advantage, I think, with the AI, it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest website. Like if you're a bike chain and you have like 4 locations in a certain area, you should be figuring out how to ship things super cheap to people's doorsteps in that area. But yeah, I think the shipping, I think it's going to erode margins even more, to be honest, the AI stuff. AI finds cheap, but it's customer service that's most important. I don't know if that's the most important thing. Like, do you get the product in your hands? Is it $10 cheaper? Customer service is important for some people, but if customer service was important, Walmart wouldn't have put everyone out of business. I don't think people really care about customer service. They should care about customer service, but I don't think they really care about it. Like, as far as me, I can't stand customer service. Like, doing warranty work, I hate doing warranty work, and it enrages me. So like, say these pedals broke, not this specific brand, but like something a customer buys breaks, and it's only a few months old. I've got to warranty it. Do you know how big of a headache that is for bike shops? Like, they're like, I can't just send an email, hey, send me out a new brake lever or whatever. They want pictures, and they want me to write a paragraph about what's wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm not making any money off of this. And then sometimes they'll like mail you out a chain or whatever. It's like, this is a joke. This is a colossal waste of my time. So bike shops, they're not making any money off providing customer service. And the margins, they want some of the brands, they want me to sell things at like a 20% margin, and then they want me to provide customer service if it breaks. And I don't have the time for that. The sad truth is, if the product is under like $50 and it needs to be warranted, I just throw the product away and I put on something else and I just give it to the customer, because it's just a colossal headache for me. Yeah, customer service. I hate selling stuff, to be honest. I have videos about it, but yeah, all this stuff. One of my videos, like, these pack outs have pedals in them, and the pack out's $80. And then the Wellgo MSRP, they want me to make like $2 off of a pedal. It's like, I can't even pay for the box. I have to put the pedals in. And when I made that video, people were like, you don't have to buy these pack out packs to store your stuff in. You can use buckets. And I'm like, buckets in a truck? Like, I'm supposed to have like tote buckets? Like, no, I got to use the correct thing for the correct purpose. Like, this truck is dusty. My door back here is open to get in some sunlight. Dust gets everywhere. I have to keep things in enclosed bins, and then it has to be somewhat easy for me to get the parts out because I'm all about efficiency when I'm working, and I got my bike here, I got this, and I just need things easy to get at. Or fuel to carry, or the fuel to carry the pedals. Yeah, stuff costs money to deliver the pedals. But yeah, I feel like if I had stock, I would be investing in companies that can deliver stuff and deliver it super cheap. Like before COVID, I think 2019, I didn't have this big truck. I had a Nissan Envy van, and it's slow season. I'm always trying to find things to do, and I'm like, I got this van. I could go do deliveries. And so I call up On Track, and I'm like, hey, you hiring delivery drivers? Like, whatever. I got a truck. I got my insurance, all this stuff. And I go down there, downtown Salt Lake, and they're like, yeah, we'll try you out. And I get down there. None of the delivery drivers speak English. They tell me the deliveries pay like 28 cents a stop or something insanely low. Like, I'm like, how is anyone making money doing this? But they're like, we'll load you up and you can try it out and see what you think. Like, they didn't take my ID. The shipping center, they just gave me like 300 packages, loaded it into my truck. I wish I had YouTube back then because this would have been a funny video. They gave me 300 packages. I loaded it into my truck. There was no app to deliver things. They just said, just type it into your phone and map it out yourself. So I had all these people with their own really crappy delivery trucks. They were just typing in all these addresses into their phone, and there was no app to say, okay, the shortest time you should go to here, to here, to here, to here. You had to just map it all out. And this was 6 years ago. I'm sure even On Track now has some process to help out these poor guys delivering packages. But it was a fun day. I don't think I ever hassled them to pay me because it was only going to be like $30. So I drove all the way down to Salt Lake City, loaded up 300 packages, and then they gave me the route that was around this area. And I went and delivered all these packages. I didn't steal any, but like they wouldn't have even known. And I'm like, was like, okay, I would have made like $40 doing that. I think the $40 was after I was like, okay, I spent $40 on gas. So it was like $80. So it was like $40 for a full day's worth of work. And basically, I don't know, it's a slave wage job, like literally slave wages. But yeah, so when you see guys with the On Track shipping, feel bad for them. They're not making the money the Amazon drivers are making. I can guarantee that. And the Amazon drivers might not be making that much money either. But yeah, I think delivery and the ability to deliver the cheapest possible rate is going to be a very good business, and it's going to skyrocket in value. But yeah, so 48 minutes. Yeah, I was a delivery driver for a day, and that was fun. I don't think I tried any other side businesses with the truck. I've thought about doing delivery driving with this gigantic truck, but nah, it's not worth it. It's nice to move. I moved houses a few years ago, and I had this truck. I just moved everything out, and I didn't need to rent a U-Haul. Anyone have any other questions? There's 7 people watching this. Yeah, AI is going to take over the world. There was a film director. He came out with some AI shorts, Darren Aronofsky. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And he's getting like roasted. And like, because it's like awful quality. And it's not awful. I don't know. So people are like, AI is horrible. You can't make AI movies. And it's like, are cartoons horrible? Are those taking the place of actors? no one seemed to have a problem with cartoons. Someone's got to create the original thoughts behind the art. There was I remember when the AI first came out, some anime guy, I forgot his name, he was talking about it, and he's like, his studio wanted to, it's like Gimby Studios or whatever, and they wanted to use some AI stuff. And he's like, can these people ever feel pain? Like, how do you create art without being able to feel pain? Which is a fair point, but it's also like, people have used auto-tune, people have used technology to create art for a long time, and you can use auto-tune and make stuff that is not art, and that happens all the time. It's like, what? But then sometimes even that crappy art becomes art because it's like ironic, like the Rebecca Black Friday, that Friday song, it's Friday. Like, that was like an AI slop. It wasn't AI, but it was like a vocal producer slop thing that wasn't really art, but it kind of became art because everyone thought it was funny. So I think AI might be able to do that. But it's kind of like, I ranted about e-bikes and how don't call my bike an acoustic bike, call an e-bike an e-bike. And like with all technology, like, okay, an AI film it's not actors. It's a different thing. There's always room for different things. Like when people started making cartoons, people weren't like, this is fake because it's drawn. It's not a real person acting. It's like, yeah, so I don't know. Things change, things get different. But if it doesn't speak to people, then it's not good. But yeah, can I stretch this out to an hour long? I want my live streams to be an hour long, but I think I ran out of things to say, and I'm not getting that many comments. If someone has a comment to keep this live stream going, then I will answer it. Other than that, I don't know. My next stop today after my live stream, I've got to go install this stupid Tannis liner. And Tannis liners work, but the tires should be better. The tires should not have Tannis liners, especially an e-bike tire where the weight doesn't matter. Design a tire that doesn't get punctured by a tiny little thorn. How about that? Then what else do I got here? I got a parts order in. I got an FSA bottom bracket for a Fazzari, and I'll just rant some grievances. Fazzari, don't buy Fazzaris. Don't buy them, guys. I don't know what is considered legally, like, criticizing. What is it? Slandering a product. But in my experience, I would never buy a Fazzari. I'll just say that. I work on them. I would never buy a Fazzari bike. Never. I got some pink HT pedals. I ordered in, I don't have my titanium frame with me. I ordered in a new titanium frame. It should be coming here in a month or two for my wife. It's going to have a 13-inch seat tube, super long dropper post, and I ordered some Industry 9 pink headset and stem and pink pedals. And I think it's going to look pretty awesome when it's done. And I changed the graphics a little bit to match this Bike Life graphic. So I think her bike is going to be better looking than my bike that I had made up. But that's all fun. Oh, Kevin, thanks. How do you store your own unfoldable tires in the truck? Okay, let me show you. So I have this bin. It stores my unfoldable tires. It's a Salt Dog by Bayer. So this is made to put in salt in like a pickup truck, I think, to go do commercial salting work for snow removal. But it was the best size I could find that would store the tires and keep them from getting too dusty. And then also in my front cab, in the front of my cab, I've got a bucket seat, and then I have like five tires, fat bike tires and stuff, just sitting in the back of my front seat. And those are my secrets here. I got this new truing. Let me take this back off. I hope it doesn't cause motion sickness or anything. I got a new truing stand from Park Tool. It's gigantic. I really don't like how big truing stands have gotten, but to get I hope this new one fits the 32-inch wheel standard that's coming out. I shouldn't call it standard, but. So the Q factor on my crank, I was sick. My new titanium frame, I put in some pedal washers and I tried larger pedals, but I just switched out the spindle to this is the regular size spindle. I switched it out to one that's 5 millimeters wider, and I put it on the bike and it feels better. My feet aren't hitting the back of the frame seat stays. But now my chain ring is like way too far out. It still works in the highest gear, the easiest gear, but the chain line is a little off. So I had a 3 millimeter, this is all technical stuff. I had a 3 millimeter chain ring offset, and I think I need to go to a 5 or a 6 and bring that chain ring back in if I'm going to use that crank. But yeah, that's kind of the downside of designing your own bike, is little weird little things like that. And I kind of knew what I was doing. So I think it's cool to use titanium and order in your own titanium frame, but sometimes it's like harder to figure out little things like that. Worst bike related injury, or save the answer for a future video. Well, I could end this with a grievance. People will watch me in my truck, but only like 10-20% of you will watch a video that takes place out of my truck. So I did a video about St. George a few videos ago, and I talk about my worst bike-related injury. It was on suicidal tendencies, or sidewinders, the new trail name. And I broke my rib. I just flipped over my handlebars and I broke my rib. And that injury story is at the very end of the video. So you'd have to wait through me singing and breaking eggs open and all that before you get to that part of the video. But if you want to know about that, that's probably my worst injury. I do not ride that fast downhill. And part of the reason I like my new hardtail, the wheelbase is only 1150 millimeter wide wheelbase. I feel like all the bikes designed now, coming out now, are like made to go like 30 miles, 20 miles an hour downhill. And I go like 15 miles an hour downhill. So I want like a more squirrely bike, a bike that doesn't feel great at super high speeds. But people need to, I don't know. Bike industry needs to start making bikes that go the average speed of the regular biker. You know, there's too many bikes out there that are made for like professional speed. And it's like, well, most people aren't riding bikes at professional speed. And then also, even if you can ride bikes at like 30 miles an hour downhill, most people doing their regular rides, they're like in areas where there's hikers all over the place. And if you ride that fast, you're kind of a twit. So I say, but no one wants to buy a bike. There's like, the Ibis Mojo 4 is the last 27.5 bike that Ibis made. It was like made for the average bike rider, and it rides great. But a pro is not going to want to ride it. They're going to want to ride a bike that goes faster at higher speeds. And no one wants to buy the bike that's like not for the pro. Everyone wants to like act like they're the pro. So there's a problem with the industry there that everyone wants to be the pro, but you're probably most suited towards a bike that a professional would not ride. It would make your riding better. That makes sense. But yeah, that's my rants for today. I made it to an hour. Maybe I'll do a live stream next week. Maybe I'll take a break. But yeah, sorry, I was all over the place. I started late. But yeah, AI. So let me know in the comments what you think of AI if you made it this far. And have a good day, everybody. Go out and ride your bike. Have a nice Saturday.